a lot of time if it's an interview offline, we're talking about offline interview. If one person is taking the interview, it's very easy to maintain an eye contact. However, when there is a panel, which generally happens at probably the last interview or so, there are 3 or 4 people sitting for the stress interview, and one candidate has been interviewed at this time. So in this case, how do we maintain the eye contact? Like, do we have to, if X particular person is interviewer is asking a question, do we need to look at him or her and say that complete answer, or should we have eye contact flowing across all that? So how do you go about it?
And firstly, I'll share an experience of mine. I had been for an interview in Godrej. Honestly, I was very raw. It was my first corporate experience. I had never worked in a company, and Sida Godrej, So it was like a dream place for me to be, because my father retired as a director in Godrej. So when I went for the interview, what actually worked, I'm telling you this. Now, मुझे कोई experience था, I was a fresher, as I told you. But what worked is, the moment I entered into the room, I saw that there are 3 to 4 people there. And I just smiled at all of them. I gave a nice, bright smile to all of them, $1 million smile. And I actually, shook hands with each one of them, looking into their eyes. And I shook hands with a nice smile. And I think and you know what, as mirroring is a technique in communication, automatically the interviewers smiled back at me, and they all looked at me, and they all felt so important or valued, and the connection was done. And I think that time they decided they'll take me. So mujhse bhi bahut अच्छे the. When I was in the waiting, the lounge, okay, and everybody were like, oh, I have done this and I've done that, and I was in that corporate, and they did not get selected. Trust me, it's a true story I'm sharing, and I was totally shocked what made me select, because I was so unsure. I just went like an experience, and I just smiled and had a gala time, and I had a nice talk with them, a very candid chat, and I, built a connection, and I smiled, very comfortable in my own skin. And when I asked the feedback, okay, after I got selected, I remember his name was Mr. Kannan. I asked him, so Mr. Kannan, what do you think? Why did I get selected? Honestly, because there are, like pros and more experienced people. He said, that's because you had the confidence and the comfort, the 2 C's, I would say. I was extremely comfortable with my own self. I was extremely confident, which I always think is a big boon. And why I was confident and comfortable? Because I just went for the experience. I just saw it as a learning experience. And I was very friendly, and I was myself, okay? So they liked that aspect. They said, okay, you are groomable, you are likable, you are agreeable, you seem to be a people person, you have that smile, you're very friendly. That's exactly what we looked for. We are going to train you. We have a 6 months probation period. So we are not looking at people who have experience and skills. We are looking at people who can look into the eye and talk. So why I'm telling you the story, a small little thing is, it's so important to look into the eye. And when an interviewer sees that you're maintaining eye contact, he sees if you're confident, right? And how will he know if you're confident? By the eye contact. So when you avoid it, yeah. So coming to the question, if you have more than one interviewer and one person has asked you a question, you need to give equal importance to all the people who are in the panel of interviewers. So you have to look at everybody, and you have to acknowledge everyone's presence, look at everyone. But when you're answering to that person, you will actually answer directly by looking at that person who asked the question. And after that, again, you will start looking at everyone and nod your head of acknowledgement. This is a very important key, so that no other interviewer feels neglected. Just because this person has asked a question doesn't mean others are not listening. They are also listening. So you can look at him and answer, and occasionally look at them and acknowledge their presence with a smile.
Awesome. I mean, some of the tips of confidence building was also, infused into this particular answer. And I feel that is going to help people to build confidence inside out as well, along with the eye contact.